Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mines and Money London 2021 and Commodity TV for you in the virtual version, unfortunately, due to Corona and some travel restrictions. We want to talk now about Anglesey Mining with Jo Battershill, the CEO, for the first time. Good morning to England. How are you?
Good morning, Jürgen.
Great to see you. Thanks for taking the time. Very interesting, your company, and I think you're also updating your website, as you just told me. You're working in Ireland, Sweden, and Canada. Can you give us maybe in 3, 4, 5 sentences a short overview on the company, please?
Yeah, sure. Just sorry, a little correction there. It's not Ireland, it's the Isle of Anglesey, which is actually off the coast of Wales.
Okay,
but look,
sorry.
It's the flagship project for Anglesey Mining is clearly Parys Mountain, and Parys Mountain is it's on the Isle of Anglesey in North Wales. There is a very, very long history of mining there, with Bronze Age mining about 4,500 years ago, followed up with some Roman mining of the copper, and then a very sort of commercial and economic scale in the 17th and 18th century. 18th and 19th century. What we're looking at there is a classic VMS system, excuse me, with remaining resources of about 17 million tons at circa 2% copper equivalent, and that copper equivalent is made up of about 1% copper and the rest in lead, zinc, gold, and silver. So it's very exciting, and there's we had a drill rig start last week, which is the first time a drilling rig's been on site for about 11 years. So it's not a project that's been taken where it should have over the last decade or so for a number of reasons. So very excited about it.
Super. So before we come to your other projects, I think Parys Mountain is the focus of the company, and I saw just on your website a very impressive, how can I say that, air shot from the project that looks like a lot of mining happened there so far, and quite a big history, yeah. And also, I think you brought out, or there is an existing PEA already. Can you comment a bit on the numbers historically, and let's say what have you, as you said, you started with drilling again. So what are the plans for this project now, and also for 2022?
Yeah, sure. So look, I mean, in terms of history, I mean, when you look at the aerial photos of the site, there is an extensive old mining area, which is now part of the local heritage. I mean, we own that land freehold, or most of it freehold, and we lease it to the local heritage group, and we help them maintain it and look after it. And it's now a very popular sort of tourist attraction, and the locals like to take their dogs for a walk around it. And we see ourselves as part of that heritage. So I mean, it's a very important aspect for us and the community. And importantly, everything we're going to be doing going forward is actually all underground mining. So we don't actually go anywhere near any of those old workings. And again, importantly, we don't have any of the environmental liabilities on it. So sometimes people look at the aerial photo and get a bit confused and kind of go, oh wow, I'm not sure. I don't think they're going to get permitting for that. But in reality, back to your original question there in terms of some of the history. This project was essentially fully permitted back in the late 80s, early 90s, and there's a lot of existing infrastructure there, including a headframe with a 300-meter deep shaft. So that was all put in. That was sunk in 1989, 1990 when this was fully permitted. They went underground. They did 1,000 meters of underground development. They took a 2,000-ton bulk sample and they built a pilot plant on the surface, processed it, produced a concentrate and sold it to the Avonmouth smelter, which back in the day was Pasminco. So there's an exceptional amount of data which demonstrates this project is genuine and it's real. But also there is an abundance of infrastructure, which in the PEA the PEA demonstrates a very viable, robust project that would, with pre-production capital of about $99 million US dollars. And the reason that number is so low, and that would produce about between 15 and 20,000 tons of copper equivalent a year for best part of 12 years. The reason that number is so low is because of the existing infrastructure. We're right next to a road. There's a railway less than a kilometre away, which it hasn't been used for 15 years, but the local MP has made it one of her pledges that she wants to get that railway back in operation. That railway goes straight to the port of Holyhead. Now, Holyhead is a major port infrastructure. It's the main link between sort of the UK and Ireland. But also there used to be the Rio Tinto aluminium smelter in Anglesey, and they used to bring in circa 300,000 tons of alumina through that port. So everybody's familiar with mining, and there's loads of infrastructure. One of Anglesey's largest industries at the moment is renewable energy in terms of with wind farms. I mean, it is a very windy place, and so we could really push this as a low carbon or even zero carbon copper mine, utilizing existing infrastructure that we just think that's like gold. I mean, it gives us significant advantages.
Super. So would that mean that you then do a concentrate which you can ship through the port?
That's correct. That's correct, Joachim. So I mean, it's a classic VMS. So it'll be 3 streams of concentrate. So we would produce a copper concentrate that would have the gold in it. We produce a lead concentrate that has the silver in it, and we would produce a zinc concentrate. And I mean, all of the test work that's been done so far demonstrates good recoveries. Copper recoveries are sort of mid 80%, producing a 25% copper concentrate, and then the lead and zinc are slightly lower in the recoveries as one would expect, but still very economic and produce very sellable concentrates. So there is, with the current drill rig that's there, we're going to do a little bit more met testing on the lead concentrate. We think we might need to just put a little small fine grind circuit in for the lead concentrate, just to improve the concentrate grades. And we're looking at doing some work on a gravity concentrator for some of the gold. We think that might drop out, so it would be nice to produce a bit of gold on site.
Okay, super. That sounds like a good game plan. I mean, $100 million is absolutely doable in those times now. What would be the time plan for you to really be in production? So how much work do you still need to do? Looks like permitting is not a real issue as you are in an old mining place, but what is your feeling from here? 3, 4, 5 years?
No, I'd like to think it'd be a lot sooner than that. Okay. So I mean, we've in terms of the permitting, I mean, you're never permitted until you're permitted, and it's always very difficult to put a timeline on permitting. But what we have done is, as a management board, we're very cognizant that the permits that we have in place, or the planning permission we have in place, was put in place 30 years ago, and there's been a lot of changes to environmental planning and more specifically sort of water management and tailing storage facilities. So we're doing a voluntary, or we're submitting these permits for a voluntary review to the local Mineral Planning Authority, North Wales Mineral Planning Authority, and the Anglesey County Council. And as part of that, we've actually started work on updating the environmental and sort of the baseline studies for one of the better expression. Now, look, I mean, we're doing a gap analysis on historical work and what's required going forward. So we don't know how long that environmental work is going to take yet. But I mean, my sense is, worst case scenario, if we have to collect another, full season or full set of seasons of weather meteorological data, it might be 12 months. But within that 12-month period, we will be, we've got the PEA, we've got a drill rig on site now that's doing a little bit of infill drilling on the engine zone and the white rock zones, which are the first bits that will be mined. We're doing a little bit of met test work, and we don't need to do much, so it's just a bit of confirmatory stuff, and we're including geotech modelling. So, that work is really sort of feasibility study standard work, but we haven't formally started the feasibility study. But my expectation is we'll start that in 2022, and hopefully that will run concurrently with the environmental permitting process. So who knows? I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the world with COVID and all these other things, right? But one of the benefits and one of the sort of significant appeals for me to get involved with this is, a lot of mining investors take on geopolitical risk when they invest. I mean, especially UK investors, because there's not a lot of UK mining So if UK investors want mining, they get exposure to Australia, to Africa, Canada, whatever, multiple parts of the world, and all of those places are struggling with access and being able to get them, being able to do continuous work programs, and I just think there's a huge benefit to Anglesey in that I can jump in the car and be there in 5 hours on a good day, 7 hours on not such a good day. We've got guys on site. So look, I mean, we think we can continue to progress this through the next 12 months. I'd like to be in a point where we're at least starting to talk to offtake guys, offtake partners, and potential funding partners towards the end of 2022.
Super. Before the project finance, meaning for the feasibility study, do you have the money to bring that project to that status that you can say, okay, here we are, everything is clean and clear, now project finance, let's get it built?
Well, Jürgen, as a junior miner stroke developer, you've never got enough money, have you? Look, I mean, we have enough money to do the work programs that we've committed to. And that could take us through to the end of next year if we needed to. However, there's one of the areas of significant prospectivity for this project is a deposit called the Northern Copper Zone, which at the moment is about 9 million tons. It's all inferred. It does come into the PEA, but obviously we're very cognizant that we can't convert that into a reserve until it's been built. So, I mean, my intention is when this current drill program is finished, which will probably be end of March. I'd like to keep the rig on site and then start infill drilling the Northern Copper Zone, and also do some extensional work around there. I mean, there are some amazing drill holes within the Northern Copper Zone. 4 meters at 16% copper equivalent, and 11 at 6%, and there's even one hole in there that was drilled many years ago, Jochen, but it's about 146 meters at 1.2% copper. Now, nice. I don't think many people would expect to see those sort of results in a project in the UK. So if we had a load more money, yes, we would look to be doing a bit more work there. So look, I mean, I'm very cognizant. I worked in banking, broking for 15 years, and I always used to ask companies, are you fully funded? And to be honest, I never expected anybody to ever say yes. But then, you get put into a position where if you say you're not fully funded, everyone just says, oh, they need more money. So there's a bit of a catch-22.
That's for sure. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's talk shortly about Sweden and also your 12% stake in Labrador Iron Mines. What is the intention of your company to have those 20% in the Grängesberg in Sweden in iron ore, and also the 12% stake in Labrador Iron Mines?
Sure. Well, we'll start with Grängesberg. Grängesberg is it's a very large project in Sweden. I mean, it was shut in 1989, and when the iron ore price hit $26 a ton. When it shut, it was producing about 4.5 million tons per year of very high grade pellets. So about almost 70%, between 68 and 70% iron pellets. So very high quality, high grade product. We have a remaining resource there of about 140 million tons. We ran a PEA, or the company ran a PEA in 2012, which demonstrated a very economic proposition doing 2.5 million tons. Our view is that we just want to get those numbers updated, because that's almost 10 years ago. So we have commenced an update of the pre-feasibility study. That started about 3 weeks ago. I'm hoping that'll be done sort of towards the end of Q1 next year. But look, the important aspect there is we do only own 20%, but we have management of it, which is quite unusual. And we do have a right of first refusal to go to 71%. And really, doing this pre-feasibility update is just to give us the information that the management and board need to make that decision on that right of first refusal. But I would look. I mean, if the numbers come back as we expect them to do, I mean, I would expect us to basically exercise that right of first refusal should the opportunity present, obviously. And the terms on that are they're not onerous. It's an equity deal. There's no cash out the door. It's very cheap. So or we perceive it as very cheap. So look, I mean, it's something that we're looking at. Does Anglesey Mining are we a natural fit for an iron ore project in Sweden? Look, we don't know. I mean, we haven't done the work. So let's do the work. Let's work out what it is. Let's work out what we've got. At the moment, I think there's very little in the Anglesey share price for it, and there are some direct comparables in the market at the moment that would demonstrate this could be of significant value to Anglesey shareholders. So, I think it's right and appropriate that we do the work. In terms of Labrador Iron Mine Holdings, I mean that's a legacy position, really. I mean, after the GFC, the company had a change of tack and went to Canada with some iron ore tenements, and they spanned them out into Labrador Iron Mine Holdings. And so this is a sort of a remnant position of that. Look, I mean, I like it. I mean, we don't have to do. I mean, I don't have to do anything with it. I mean, they've got a program.
You just have it.
And that's right. And the guys that run it have got a very good track record. They built an operation over there previously. They've released a PEA on another project, the Houston project, which has very good. I mean, very encouraging fun, economic parameters around it. And if they get that developed, then it's worth something. And who knows? I mean, whether Labrador Iron Mine, I mean, with the combination of Labrador Iron Mines and Grängesberg, perhaps there's an iron ore business there. So look, I mean, it's all I see it as all optionality, to be honest with you. It's and very, very well. Look, interestingly, before I joined, the Anglesey Mining share price moved very much in perfect correlation with the iron ore price and the Labrador Iron Mine holdings. So the market obviously saw us as an iron ore company, and I think since I've come in, I've kind of tried to reset the market's view on Parys Mountain, and really, this is a copper, lead, zinc development company at the moment with some very nice iron ore optionality in the background. So that's how I view it.
Super. Perfect. Thank you very much. It was a great final sentence. Wish you all the best. Merry Christmas, of course. And please bring Parys Mountain into production, because I could imagine the jobs are needed in the region.
Yes, absolutely. We're doing our best. Thanks, Jochen.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Anglesey Mining with Jo Battershill, the CEO. And yeah, you heard it. Parys Mountain in North Wales is really on the go be brought back into production. It's a big VMS system, copper, zinc, lead. That would be something what the world really needs. Those metals are needed, and through the concentrate shipping in a nearby harbor, there could be a lot of potential. And also with Grängesberg and Labrador iron ore mines, this is a nice iron ore business for the future, which could bring value to the shareholders. So I would suggest you check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.